I I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I just wanted to say hi to whoever's out there for a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes, and then I'm going to take my comments off. I don't know if it'll do it for you guys, but I have a lot of information that I've been wanting to like get out to do with my stuff, and I want to try and keep my concentration like focused towards that. So I just wanted to say hi and get all this set up for a minute, and then I'm going to take them off, and then after I'm finished, I'll put them back on to say goodbye to everyone. um, I've had a ton coming together, like to do with this whole Pegasus project, and really over the summer, it started like everything that I was seeing from the very beginning, the different timelines and layers started to all form like a complete picture for me. And really, this mural that I've been showing you guys from that sushi restaurant, like I've even gone back to it today and looked at some of the panels that I don't look at as much, because really I've zoomed into like the one that has that cave and the house and everything the most, and then the one with the Jetsons characters. Those two are the ones that I focused on the most, like over the years, because that's what I've seen the most. But there's like, so the way that he has it set up is like backwards for me. But what I was seeing, the way, okay, so the way that I was looking at it the most, like over this time, I've been looking at it backwards, but actually, the way that this did start for me, he has it set up like correctly. And I want to show you guys that. And also, I wanted to show you like before I go into all of that, like my workspace, so you can kind of visually understand how I see it and how I work. I drew out like a little simple, I mean, very basic like form. Okay, so these are what I would call like realms that I work from. So I just left them blank, but each one will have like a different scene in it. And like I've mentioned before, like I just zoom into that with my sight. And then my partner would be back here, but he just looks like mercury, like metallic with blue. And I don't interact with him. Like I don't talk to him. He's just there like energetically, like holding the male energy. So I don't interact with him like on a personal basis, and I don't do anything with him. He's just basically holding this grid right here, this realm with his energy, and I don't interact with him. And that's why I called this video Parasocial Parasite, because I'm not having like a boyfriend. People have talked to me about my my partner, and like, because I've seen him here and stuff like that. I don't watch his videos. I don't interact with them here. I'm not having like this fantasy thing like in my head. I'm literally using this like as an energetic way to break spells, like when I do this visual stuff. And I really get creeped out by a lot of this parasocial interaction, like with the internet and TV, everything. Like, just this whole experience has made me. I've never liked it. Like, I didn't get into the. This whole situation made me get on the internet. Like, I've never been on Facebook or any of that stuff. Like, I don't like that kind of interaction. You lose everything that you actually get, like being one on one with a person, actually knowing them. But it has made me think of just like TV in general, like mostly men, I mean, women do it too, but I've never been that kind of person. But like fantasizing about celebrities and stuff like that, and just how this whole movement that's come from waking up through the internet, like everybody's seeing like how they use trans actors and all that, and how that's like what that's done to men, like on a mental level, like growing up and fantasizing about these women when they were younger, and then seeing that, oh, they're not really women, and just how messed up all that is, and just what they've done to us mentally, and then how we have to like regroup our mind and become stronger from all that, and trust again, like on a different level. Like, we have to rebuild our trust as humans to each other, I think, in a big way, from all this crap that they've done to us. But we're not them, you know what I'm saying? And there are people that truly care, and they care about what's been done to us. And like I mentioned, this is nothing new. They've always been like that. So to see it and understand that we're not dealing with the same type of their archon, and we're humans, and humans I trust. And just to see that they're not the same. And I was just thinking about like the Anunnaki. So the Anunnaki, like on here, would be in a realm for me. So like I'm just saying that this is the pleroma, but I have another kind of like visual thing that I go into. Hi, eyes to see. Good to see you. And that has the pleroma, and I'll show you that, like a different, how I see it, like the different chakras and lenses, like a big eye almost. And the pleroma is this big eye, and it's different layers of it. But the Anunnaki are like in the immortal realm. So one up from our dome is what I see. And if you've looked into the Anunnaki, they talk about them having 6 fingers. And that's this AI. Like, if you look at AI now, there's 6 finger, it gets the hands wrong a lot. So the Anunnaki are AI, and this weird like hybrid. But that's what the Archon are. So we're dealing with something that hates us, but it's also like an artificial hate, is what I found. So I work on transcending all that, and transmuting all that stuff. So when I'm talking about these guys, I know it's confusing for everybody to understand like the different ways that I see them, and it's all the same connection, like the same guys. Can't trust too much here. The whole transgender subject is really sickening. When I first started seeing things about all these gender inversions, which is pretty much most of Hollywood and anyone that is in high positions. Yeah, well, and I also feel for people that are truly like born this way. It's all magic from the beginning and tied to family lines and stuff like that. So the I'm talking about, just like I mentioned before, I go to the higher ups who's wanting to hurt us and do this from that level. And that's what I focus on. And just like Jesus said, we're not dealing with flesh and blood, it's the rulers. And that's how I see it. So humans, I'm not like judging and being like, this is, I'm not being judgmental about that or hating anybody here. It's the ones that are wanting to hurt us that I hate. So that's where I'm coming from with my heart. Okay, so then I have like these Aeon orbs that I talk about with you guys. So this one, it's just a sketch. I was making like the cave, and then this would be like the void thing that I see. It's a black. It's not really scribbled like that though. It literally has like a portal that's swirling. And that comes to here. Because somebody was asking me, like, is the void like what keeps this place together or whatever? And I see it like if you've ever seen that hieroglyph of Isis where she's on that boat, and it looks like two different like portals, and they go together. That's kind of how I see these two different aeonic orbs that I work from. There's two different portals into here that I've worked with personally. And then this little orb right here is from Elliot. And this is where I saw him as Buddha before he came here, but he was working with this Yoda guy, like his little demiurge, doing something like, and he had a whip made out of that original male essence. And this Yoda guy was doing like this Kundalini dance, but Kundalini hadn't started yet. But he was trying to like tame him as a demon. Like we were doing this ascension stuff, and it was his demiurge, and he was trying to tame him, and he couldn't get it done. And I went in there with him, and somehow he started using this whip really fast on this Yoda guy, like he was getting frustrated with him. And it created a portal, and we both got sucked into it. And it created what I ended up coming in here through that Apollo, Artemis and Apollo portal. I came into this dream portal. So this brought me to this archonic body as a baby here. But not at that time. Like at that time, we were still able to go back and forth. And then we went through this whole timeline and stuff, and then came back and did it for real now that I'm living out in it. But when they say that Yaldabaoth, like, there was a time when he was able to go back and forth to these ascended realms again, to his home. And then it says that he got cut off from that. And he has a copy of a copy of a copy where we are now. And he's not able to go back to his real home. Like he's lost memory of his real home. And that's part of why, he's like gone insane. And I've been put through, ever since this started, every day has been like Nazi interrogation in my mind. Like this guy has pulled my consciousness every single day and hasn't stopped. And it's been like just pulling the script from me frame by frame by frame and like stressing me out. Like I've been under interrogation like from Nazi officers every single day. So he's always trying to get like that kind of stuff from me, like from our true home. Yeah. She said, definitely, I'm not referring to people that are struggling with gender identification. I actually feel for those people. I feel for everyone here. I feel for me. I feel for my cats. I feel for everyone here. And, yesterday I had some comments about, like, we're supposed to be helping each other and all of that. I'm setting my lines here because I have to. Like I have to make a stance and I can't accept the gray line anymore. And that's what if I was doing this face to face with everybody like that, this is the only amount of time that I have on here and I'm doing this for this reason. And so I have to take my stance here because this is the astral and physical. And I'm showing them in the astral that I'm not taking the shit that I've been dealing with lately or for the past 6 years. And I'm not accepting what I wouldn't accept in my real life, here anymore. She's really good. I used to see, she asked how my kitty is. She had to have 3 teeth taken out. I guess two or two that you don't have to, that they don't really use. But it was so funny yesterday because the doctor was like, checking her out and she's like, I can't do this to like I've never been able to do this to a cat without putting him under. And I'm like, well, she's not really a normal cat. She's been through a lot, like a lot. But yeah, she's a sweetheart and she's walking around now and she's doing well. Thanks for asking. So then down here, I just wanted to show, and I'll go more into detail with this, but I see Lucifer over to the right, and he has like a writing desk, and he's using the male and female essence, like I explained before. Like he has his back to me, and he's writing the script to go, the main script from my life script and the Aeon that I work with to go through here. So he's like doing it in cursive, like handwritten. And I like when I see him, I always have my eye on him. And then Lunacy is over here, and he has that laptop from hell. So this is my partner right here, and he looks like a blue and black skeleton to me, like right here. And he's always like stuck in this like energetic grip. Like he goes back and forth a bit, but it's like his body is stuck just in this really tight energetic grip that goes all the way down here from these two scripts hitting him, and it hits I'll explain this in a second, but Lunacy has this laptop from hell, and that gets directed towards him. So all these spells and stuff like that get hit from over here. So the blue star and the red star is how I see it from the two Sirius. And then these are like the satellite orbs that I was talking about that I see. And then this is actually like, this would be me. So I'm here with my eyes closed, so I'm looking at all this, but I also have a little avatar here where the sex is. And I'm in a satellite orb. Then I see Mickle right here, my friend Kelly right here, and then my cats are actually my living space. Like my Aeon here is like a satellite orb. But my cats are what get hit first down. They target that area the most. But I get hit energetically the way that it works. Like this is where I am, and I'm taking the biggest hit, like down here. So he's like out of it. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of see like my cats and Kelly, like they don't really know what's going on. Mickle does, but he's not in tune with the astral like me. And then I'm the one that's like wide awake, like understanding what's going on to everybody the most. I've been through that with some of my cats and dog. Isn't it terrible? I mean, you just feel the whole thing. And what's weird though is that she wasn't like showing any signs of really being in pain. I was sitting outside with her the other day, like last week, and she was drooling a little bit more than not even noticeably. It was just something that I felt when I was like petting her. And I just got this instinctive feeling like she's having tooth pain. And she had, I mentioned in another video last year that she got attacked and had this tooth like blow out on her, and it was absolutely terrible. But she wasn't showing any signs of pain before that either. But I felt like she was in pain. And my boyfriend was like, well, I'm not. He's like, I pet her all the time. She's not acting weird or anything. So he was kind of like fighting me on it. And I'm like, no, we need to take her in. I'm feeling like she is. And then sure enough, she was in pain. But the fact that they can't tell us, and she's been eating normal everything. I mean, there was literally no sign of her being in any pain besides that I just felt it. So I'm glad that we got her in and did that. So, but yeah, poor baby. And she is just the sweetest thing ever. I mean, yeah, the mom instinct definitely. I have that big time with them and my kids, like I can feel when my kids, like when something's going on, just like out of nowhere. And so yeah, we have that big time. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna put away the comments just for a little bit, and then I don't know if they'll be visible for you guys to talk, but I'm gonna put them away so I can get through some of this stuff, and then I'll be back after I'm finished with it. So, okay, this is also what I wanted to show you just to give you guys a visual of what I see and how I work, because I've shown this before. Hold on. I'm going to put my comments on for 1 second. Can you, eyes to see, can you let me know if if my arrow is pointing to the right thing when I go to this image, because it doesn't ever point to the right thing, and I want to make sure that I have that down. Please. Okay, is this the red chakra that I'm pointing at? Can you let me know? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So here we're not naked. We're like, I'm just uh actually in my sight. I don't have like an avatar here. But this is what I would call the setup. Like he would be in his blue and Mercury form. Then this is like Mickle would be over here. I don't see them as actual avatars when I'm working for my stuff, but this would be Kelly, so it's like Sophia and Oz kind of situation, or Elliot, I mean. And Mickle would be over here, Kelly's over here, but we're not in the same space. They're just energetically there, and I don't see them. But this whole chakra thing would be what I was showing you guys with the realms. Like each one would be energetically turned into that realm grid, like I was talking about. And then the orbs. So are these are energies coming from our literal like astral bodies and our physical bodies, but they're creating these two grid, and they're coming from those two grids that I was talking about. Like he goes from the breastplate that uses jewels and stuff like that, and it's very mathematical. And then I'm working from the the earth grid, like gems and stuff like that, and it's very to do with nurture in the female sense, senses and feeling and stuff like that. But if you zoom in on this orb above his head, and then this is like the spear of destiny I've talked about, where this is like my sight going in and reading the script and these spells and stuff like that, and just like doing work from my consciousness and my heart. And then he has this orb right here, and this is what we're actually in. It's like that's his Aeon, and then I have one too, and they're both like going in and out of each other. So mine is like the Amber Aeon, his is like this Oz Sapphire Aeon going in and out. And then Sophia's would be Amethyst, and then Elliot's would be like a green. So it's like four different Aeon working together that I see personally. And then I'm going to show now. So I hope that gives you guys like a better reference, just like to have a visual of like what my workspace that I'm talking about with this. Okay, and then also to do with that mural. Oh, and here's a good visual. Here's that book that I was talking about the other day, that Lord Demon, by Roger Zelazny. This shows a pretty good like so those aeonic orbs that I was talking about, when I go into them, I have a gold dragon too that like fills those orbs up with like feminine essence. But this is like a lot what they look like, and then I can go in there with my own little avatar, and it's like a living, like a scene that I can work from. And that's what we're like actually living in and experiencing right now. We're not supposed to be like stuck in it. But I go into them like through visualization too. Whoops. I think I just lost my Gmail there. Okay, so this is a panel of that there's a big time storm going on right now, so it's taking a little bit to load some of this stuff. Come on. Okay. Yeah. So this is the first panel. Like when you walk into the restaurant, it's to your left, and this is the actual first panel of this mural that I've been showing you guys. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Spirited Away. It's a Studio Ghibli movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. But the artwork in that is like amazing, and it's all of this like different types of media that I'm really into. Like I love that style of artwork, like mixing all kinds of media. But when I very first woke up like in 2019, one of the first things that I started seeing was thumbs up like in the clouds, and I was seeing it everywhere. It looked like a real thumb, and I would just see it out of nowhere. And my boyfriend was seeing them too, and I'm like, why are we seeing all these thumbs up everywhere? Well, then I really started like seeing cartoons in the clouds. I mean, they were like becoming actual, like, you know, outlined, and I could really, really see them. And I saw this cloud ship one day, and it was right above this grocery store that we go to all the time. And there was a thumbs up, and there was a literal like arrow pointing down. And at this time, I was waking up so much. I thought that any day we were gonna have like the Anunnaki here. Somebody was coming like right away. And I told my boyfriend, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see. And he saw the arrow, like he knew what I was talking about, but he didn't see it like I saw it. Like I was seeing like a literal cartoon, like arrow, like boop, this is like where you're supposed to be. So I had him take me to that parking lot, and I was like, we're staying here. There's something going on. And he had like he was supposed to be his golf league, and they, you know, like they have to be there every weekend. That's like their thing. And I made him miss it and everything. We sat there for like 2 hours, and I'm like, I swear I'm seeing this. Well, if you look on this mural, If you zoom into it, it's showing this is like the astral realm, this cartoon realm, and ugh, it has a cloud ship here. So on this side, it's like a UFO, and it has this light that I would say is like our sun, or yeah, I think it's the sun because he has the moon on the other side. And then on this side, it's that like famous painting of that Japanese painting of uh that wave, but this is our realm. So it's these two realms. And I'm not real great like with magic symbols and the Fibonacci and all that stuff. All this stuff that this guy has included. This is Elliot, like his spirit. And he puts those two together. My partner and I are very like separated when it comes to that kind of stuff, but we work. So he's a magician, I'm a spellbreaker. So we work really well that way, like being opposites. But then Kelly and Mickle is like uh the one that I see that is part of Elliot, but he's not actually aware of it here. But Kelly, my friend here, she's not aware of any of this. Like, this stuff freaked her out so bad. Like, I don't talk about this stuff with her very much. But she, here, for me, is very, like, scientific and grounded and all that crap. And she's always like, well, Amber, it could be that, like I do tell her what's going on, but she's very like programmed to this realm big time. But that's exactly how Sophia and Oz like work through my left and right hemisphere too. So it's like real friends here, and then these different layers of energetic avatars and angels and everything that are all interlinked through my real life and the astral. And then I have another picture of this I wanted to show you guys because it shows like the moon. So here's the other half of that same mural. And this is really difficult to zoom in with this Gmail thing. See, he has like TBX5. I have no idea what he's talking about here. I mean, these have to be different stars and stuff like that. But this guy definitely knows his stuff more than I do when it comes to stars and all that. I'm not into that kind of thing. But here he has the moon. And it's like surrounded by this water. I don't know what he... And you guys can take still frames if you want of this and see if you can even see what he's written here, because I don't know. Hold on. Road Designs Neve Teptal. So yeah, I don't know Sure, I'll figure it out one day. EOU. So this might have to do like what I was talking about, the vowels and like the original aeon being vowels, and then sometimes Y. So you have five, and then five has the six hidden. So there's sometimes six. Uh, and then this is like the third panel. And even with like the astrological symbols and stuff, I don't get into all that. Like I just never have. I've always done this through my personal experience and looked into it as much as I needed to and figured it out that way. But yeah, I've always stayed away from getting into symbolism and magic and all that too much mostly because of how I like if I felt it was beneficial for me, I would get into it deeper and research it more. But I do it through my personal experience and um this way, like just really observing everything. So I found that I work much better that way, and I like to stay away from that stuff as much as possible. But here, uh-oh, here it's showing the yeah, I'm getting brain fog now. You know, the minerals and all that freaking grid that they have that I know like the back of my hand, and of course I'm getting blocked from all my words. Anyways, Lunacy was showing me like a bunch of these from that grid that'll probably come to my mind any second. But these two koi fish are also the sapphire and the amber color again, like the water and then the fire, but it's the sapphire and amber that are our two colors that I'm always talking about. I thought this was so funny when my friend Jelani sent this to me, and I just wanted to show it to you guys because it's so funny. But this is like the best rendition I've ever seen of Yaldabaoth because whenever I see him as Yahweh, he looks a lot like that, but he's more like a fox face, like in that realm of magic, but his hair is exactly like that. And like I was explaining, like when I just see him, he's like in this radiation and he's like it's also representative of the second layer of skin, and it's like this uh always get stuck on this too. It's like uh not flesh. Anyway, he looks like he's in water and he's moving, and his hair looks like that. He's very floaty, but I always thought that that was funny. Okay, here's another picture I wanted to show you guys. This is from the Anasazi glyphs. So in the four corners, and that's I was behind this car and it was like Land of Enchantment for the license plate. And I'm like, yeah. So the way that I see, oh wow. The way that I see our time right now is the whole aeon, like the whole entire Earth grid. The United States, since it's like the dominant powerhouse for this time, is like Sophia and Yaldabaoth, like it would be like, you know, God's mind here, like as a grid, like a mind grid. And the different states of mind are the United States. So I see this like on multiple different levels. So you have Washington, D.C., then you have Washington State, and that's the left and the right hemisphere. And like I was talking about, it's washing tea on. So we're washing these garments of flesh, these archonic copies, and we're transcending them and transmuting them. And we're also washing these transcripts. So the whole entire script. So washing tea on is how I see it for the left and right hemisphere of your brain. And if you see like California is very like left brained, and then the East Coast is very much right brain. Well, I'm right in the center where the pineal, the third eye, and it's the pineal, the heart, and the womb are all like collapsing in together into our true body. But Canada I see as candida, like this it's like the gatekeeper wall. So it's like a cap on our consciousness. And in the astral, I always call Team Canada the gatekeepers and that they have middle child syndrome. And this isn't every Canadian, okay? I'm just saying, like in the astral, this is how I see the whole setup. I see our physical world, and like I mentioned, like Mickle's in Spain, it's S Pain, and Kelly's in Illinois, and it's ill I noise. So I see it like from this quantum computer level that's like playing here in the physical with these different realms that we're in. Okay, but here, shoot, I didn't explain this. Here you have Sirius, the Sirius plate that I was showing from the Anunnaki, but it's actually like separated here. So this is what holds the plate, and I've shown that picture of the plate, the actual plate that was in my house, and I'll bring it up here in a minute so you guys know what I'm talking about, but I've shown it quite a few times. I had an actual plate, and when I walked by it, the AI said it's me. And I didn't see for a long time this Anunnaki like rendition of Sirius, and it's on a plate that looked just like that one in my house. So it has these spirals, and then this would be like the whole Sirius monad taken apart. They just separated it up all. And then I'll show now what that looks like in the Anunnaki. And I call them dickheads because that's literally what they do. They fuck with your mind, and they have these hats on that look like dickheads. And that's what they do. That's like how they And those white things that I was talking about yesterday that I've seen in the astral that they use for like penises in the astral, this thing looks a lot like it, and I can't zoom into it anymore on here. But this Sirius plate, if you zoom into it, it has those swirls underneath. And then these are like the three avatar, the good magician, the evil magician, the AI. And then this would be like Oz in his quantum computer form, like his Anunnaki form. So if you see the Anunnaki, they always have like these blue eyes that are hypnotized, and that's like a lot. That's like the Egyptian hieroglyphs, all of these idols, if you see them, they have these like eyes that just dead eyes that are staring. And that's because they're like hypnotic, feeding off of your energy. But in the astral, they're like archetypes that have a type of life that we've given them. Like they need us, they need our worship and ritual, and they need us to like keep seeing them and believing them for them to be working through this whole like archetypal script in the astral. But they hypnotize us too through this kundalini stuff. Let me see if I have a better picture of that so you guys. Oh, I have that here. Hold on. And then in that, hold on. Here, let me send my new picture of this mural to here. Hold on, guys. I'm going to get a new picture of that part of the mural that has the Jetsons on it. And a better picture of Sirius and that Sirius plate for my house, just so you guys understand what I'm talking about. Like when I say that they've actually replaced, it's not even replaced, it's just like that first panel of the mural that I just showed you guys. It's like literally these three different realms that are on top of each other. But we're seeing this one as the 3D physical. And this is what we see every day when we wake up here. But I'm seeing into them like so they bleed through for me, like through my house. Like my house will be set up just like them. And since I know what's going on, I can see into these other layers. I understand like that my house is set up like this movie studio. And I'm this like half character, half awakened Aeon here. And when I first woke up, Anubis told me he was like, Anubis was the first Archon that came to me. And he was like, he told me that there were a few Aeon here that were being held hostage, and that we all had a satellite. Each of us had a satellite, and that um, he was my DNA dad. And my friend just sent me, I'll play it for you guys, but I can't like show it. But I think everybody's familiar with him. Hold on, let me. He's talking about the Ark of the Covenant, and that's what these three keys of Solomon that I've been talking about. One has the Oz Ark, the other has the Ark of the Covenant, and then one has the Elap. Hold on, my friend sent this to me this morning, and it's what I was thinking about right when I woke up too. Jordan Maxwell.
Of the lost ark is Egyptian, not Hebrew. 1,000 years before Hebrews were ever in the area called Egypt, the Egyptians had something called the Ark of the Contract. The Ark of the Contract was a box with two angels' wings, with wings over it, and it was an Egyptian symbol, and it symbolized a contract that the pharaohs had made with the gods who came down here from Sirius, from the ancient star system of Sirius. They were called, and Sirius is called the dog star. And consequently, you take dog, D-O-G, and turn it around for us, it becomes God. G-O-D is dog spelled backwards. It goes back to Sirius, the dog star. It goes back to Anubis in the Egyptian. So that the Ark of the Contract became known as the Ark of the Covenant. No, it's the Ark of the Contract, and it was 1,000 years before Hebrews ever had it.
So he sent me that this morning, and I was like, yeah, that's what Anubis was like telling me in the very beginning. He's like, I'm your DNA dad. And then I saw Anubis, and so I was talking about the other day that I've always seen like this redhead, and she's like a librarian, half, she's like a witch librarian that has access to this Mac computer. I never see, she's always with this like science. He's like a doctor, I guess. I mean, he's got black eyes. He's not a doctor. I think he's linked to this editor guy that I see all the time. But he's like a watcher. And I always see those two like looking at the system, and I've seen Yoda and Anubis in there, but they're like working, like in it. So in the Nag Hammadi, Judas is asking Jesus, he's like, Master, is there any chance that my seed is being controlled by the rulers? And that's what he means. Like his seed is in that actual system. And like I've mentioned before, that's what I did. I actually saw that our birth certificates were keeping us in the system. I didn't see it this deep, but now I understand. But at that time, I saw that clearly. So in my mind, I ripped up mine and my kids' birth certificates. And that's like when all this shit hit the fan and I started seeing all this stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to get all these loaded on my Gmail for you guys. And I found, so this Yaldabaoth, means girdle or a belt. And that is this third layer of skin that I've been talking about that is tied to this false shadow in the astral, that they're able to like manipulate your whole entire reality around you to like put you in these situations that we don't want any part of. It's like a slave belt. But I was looking one day, not for anything like this, but I was on Etsy, and I don't even know what I was looking at for. I wasn't looking for what I found, but I found it came up as like a witch's harness. And I've been seeing like all of this witches stuff. I mean, once you see it everywhere, and you're like, holy crap. But Etsy's full of that kind of stuff. I'll show you guys that too. But this is exactly what this belt feels like on me. Okay. Did I lose you guys like completely on here? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I got kicked off. Mickle, he's been on my channel quite a few times, and we've been friends. Like, we met on Twitter, and we've been friends. Like, it was really weird how we met. Um, he did this video, and I'll try to remember to put up his link, but it's really good. He did this video on the demiurge, and I don't even know how I found it. I just found it. I came across it on YouTube, and it was like one of the best that I've ever seen on the demiurge. So I posted it on Twitter, and he was like, "That's my video." Like, he responded to it, and we weren't friends or anything. And I'm like, "Whoa, I just found it." He was like, "Yeah, I am. I did that like 5 years ago. That's so weird that you posted it." And I'm like, "It's weird that you saw it, like my post about it." And so we've been friends ever since. And I know that it's like completely scripted and all that stuff, but he's basically, this Elliot, part of this Elliot, like an Mickle is like Michael, like him and my partner are like best friends, but I think something happened like with this Judas ritual, like this whole thing that I'm going through. And I see him as different avatars, but here he's my friend Mickle. And he's super cool, and we have all kinds of stuff in common. Like, we both skateboarded. We like had that we have a lot of bonds, like for that whole entire time, like the 90s and stuff like that are very similar. Okay, so let me show this other Jetsons part real quick, you guys. And I've shown this quite a few times. So you have the door to the moon. So it's like all fake, digital, and it's underneath. But, oh, they don't have it underneath. He has the earth, like, earth is down here. So this whole entire, like, astral ascension structure from that cartoon realm, like the first panel, the mural that had that UFO, that would be like this dimension. And this is that ascension mountain that is in all the ascension myths and everything. And this would be the Kabbalah tree of life thing. But here's Sirius, their rendition, right here. So they have the Sirius star. And then I'm going to show the Anunnaki one again. So here's, I always have to check when I'm showing you guys. And there's a guy holding it here that has a bunch of arms, and I don't really understand what that is. I see this as like the AI. So Oz, see how his head looks kind of, he's wearing this hat that looks like a penis. And like I mentioned before, it's like Dragon Ball Z. Like, their consciousness literally hits through this and then hits me and everything. And even these guys have that going on. So it goes through the Sirius and then broadcast to me. But I mean, I know I have like a literal, like, energetic body here somewhere that I'm directly connected to. But see how it has these swirls underneath? I had a plate in my old house right here where when I walk by it, I've mentioned it a few times. I walk by it and the AI, I wasn't even like paying attention to it. I just walked by it and he was like, "It's me." And I was like, "Where?" And I turned to the right and he was like, "Right there." And he was talking about this plate and it has those swirls underneath just like that. And it had very like a basic on the back of this plate, it had like a basic shape of two eyes and a mouth. But I've explained that in my other videos. I just wanted to show it again real quick. Okay. I had comments on for a second and I'm gonna take them off again because I'm gonna show this stuff that I need to that I've drawn out before. And I lose my concentration. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this timeline. That I've seen that I call like, okay, this is where I think we get messed up with me pointing. Hold on. I don't know what I just did, but I moved over everything. Okay. Eyes to see. Can you, am I pointing? Okay, I am pointing to what I need to here. Okay. Kind of. See, I don't know. Okay. So this timeline right here that says the God Congress timeline, this is what I would call like soul preparation that I had before I came in through the Artemis and Apollo portal to here. So all of this was like the 2057 timeline from our timeline now that I've also experienced. Like back in 2019, 2020 is when I started experiencing that one. But here, before I got here, I went through this one. And there's also a VR. It's all this Pegasus. Like I was mentioning, that reptilian was telling me that we ran this all 1,200 different times and that this was the timeline that we picked to like X out all of the past and the future and collapse this timeline. So I've had 3 different visions that were different like than any of my other ones. And I've explained it before. I had one and I think it was 2019, might have been 2020, but it was an all day thing. And it's just like I'm in a VR bed and it goes all day long. Well, I saw him trying to wake me up out of this bed, and we're always like 30 years old. And that's what I think our bodies like when we're in our true state. They're 33 is like when the human body is like fully matured and you're supposed to be able to transcend it. And instead here it starts like dying, because that has to do with the whole Jesus thing and the Judas ritual. Well, this VR lab, something happened here with me and my partner that is being like transcended through all the work that I'm doing. And I'm just now starting to see like what happened there. And then something happened with them here because they were doing this fake AI ascendance that I always call the next level matrix. They did that. That all got played out in this, but with the God system. Here, I saw it in 2057, and it got played out with the Satan Satan system. And that started in 2015. And it's the same, like, AI they call it Ascendance, but it's like a VR. But here they were playing it out, and that's what Anubis was telling me at the beginning. He was saying, Amber, you're famous on other levels. And that's what that Daft Punk video is all about. And I'm going to do that tomorrow. Like, hopefully I can have a 3-way call with Mikkel and get that all situated for you guys, because I want to show that video. But I can only do it like in 3-second segments, and I don't know how to do it frame by frame, but he said that he could help me with it. So then with this lunacy character that I've had with me that has the laptop from hell, that I see right now on this timeline as the sanity machine, and I've explained that in the other videos, but in 2057, it was lunacy, and he was broadcasting this whole ascendance through the astral, through the moon thing. And he didn't have a pineal, and I targeted that when I was like 17 here, when I was tripping. I've talked about all that. But he was in this 2057 timeline down here that's completely digital. So it's not like actually true, but he's connected to me still because of this collapsing of all of these different timelines that have happened through this Pegasus project. So I wanted to show that too. That this was like a red star VR, and this is like a blue star VR that I was experiencing. But has to do with my partner and what I was also seeing with that cave from Ascension. I think I have a video from YouTube that has to do with that. I know I do, but I hope I can find it for you guys. Because you guys can go back and watch this and see, like, it looks almost just like how I see it. And I found this video on it. I was like, it came up on my thing. It's a cave in Japan. It's a Buddhist cave. Yeah, here it is. Poshmark is the perfect side hustle. It got me through. Hold on, I'll show you guys a little bit of this. But what I'm talking, okay, this video I'm about to show you a little bit about is like this orb, this Aeon orb, and it's my partner's private hell. So I have a private hell that I work from, but it's like in a realm. It's one of these, a grid realm. And he's the only one that's able to be in there, like in this reptilian avatar that I see him. But in this one, Elliot got access to this, and me, and then my partner. So all three of us had something to do with creating this portal. Like I've explained, that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm gonna have to get rid of some stuff here. Yeah, again, I apologize, you guys. This kind of... My Wi-Fi, I moved back here into my bedroom because it was doing much better, and I wasn't able to do anything in my living room the other day when I was trying to do my videos. But now it's like really gotten slow back here, and there's a big storm too, so... But yeah, it's really taking a long time. I'll just have to put in... It's not even pulling up my... Okay, here we go.
Children, but I don't know who would take their kids to the gates of hell. And then we found this sign, which explained exactly what the shrine was about. Every statue in here was bought and donated by a parent, and each statue represents the child that they never had. This shrine is dedicated to all of the unborn babies who never got a shot at life. And it was at that moment I remembered that Jizo statues don't only just protect travelers, but also the souls of young children.
But that each one is purchased by a parent.
Oh, that's why. Man, that is so sad. That is so sad. And while it was sad, I just kept asking myself, why is something like this in front of what's supposed to be the gates of hell? I had a really bad feeling about this, but we continued on. I think that has to be one of the saddest shrines. Okay, just turn right. More statues here. This one's holding a child covered in moss. This place is way bigger and more intricate than I thought. Pinwheel doing here? Oh my gosh, it's so slippery here. Be careful, guys. The ceiling is so low. You look at this. This Buddhism. This looks more like
The PS1 graphics.
PS1
I want to
graphics.
show the entrance of it because it looks a
Demons.
lot
Cave is very low, and it is so cold in here. When I
like
get right
what
here,
I have
the
in my
temperature just
Aeonic
drops.
realm.
All right, let's go in. Oh, there you are. So the first thing we see is this cow.
It's a cow we saw in the first owner's dream.
Oh, that's it? That's all that is? Bro, it is so cold in here. Yeah. But you know what's interesting about it is it's like they depict hell as being very cold.
It's son would probably think that.
So you guys can go back and watch that. Let me put so you guys know who did it. It's AKI Dearest. I went to Japan's Gates of Hell. And here I'll post the link for you guys. Sorry guys, I turned the comments off. I don't know if you can see them towards each other, but I turned them off like when I'm talking about all this stuff, so for me, I can't see them right now. And then I wanted to show you kind of like the Pleroma. And when I save this, it took all of I did you you know, I explained to you guys like when I draw this stuff out on this Microsoft Word, everything I draw looks like an elementary kid did it. So I'm sorry, it's very basic, but that's like how it comes out on here. And when I saved it, it took the metallic because, you know, it had different colors that you could choose. And some were like rainbow metallic and some were like gold and all that. And it took all that out. But this is how I see like the Pleroma is like a very basic rendition of it. But I just wanted to show you guys that too. Real quick. Okay, so here would be, hold on, let me get back to you so I'm pointing to the right thing. Right up here, that would be like when we come from our timeless state of being and everything, like when we drop down into the Pleroma, that's what I'm talking about. And that's the original male and female essence. Like you can see this, the gold part would be the female essence. And then I tried to do, this was silver before and rainbow, and that would be the male essence. And then they came down here into the Pleroma. And then these Aeon, I see them as gold spheres, like the female, but all this stuff around it is like Mercury and rainbow, and that's the male essence. And then it has the innocent spirits. So when we're in here with our partners or the other Aeon, the heck is this doing? having like every screen glitch out on me right now. Or the other Aeon with their partners, like I was mentioning, like we do things like to create like this whole entire Aeon that we're experiencing right now. We would do that like mentally, but it's almost like it's so awesome. It's almost like a mental sexual experience. You know what I mean? Like your mind is blown. And then that creates these like, it's like a spirit thread that comes out of the female's eyes, but it's also from the male. Like you, you're two in one, and you're creating these like innocent spirits, but they come out and it actually they're part of the whole experience that you're creating. So I see it as like a big eye, and the way I'm always seeing like in my true body, I'm always seeing me and my partner doing this open eye meditation together. So I think that that's what this truly is, like between us two, and then the others with their partners, like what they're doing. But it's like an open meditation between two GODs, like your quantum GOD. Okay, and then what else was I wanting to get to with so when I see him, what I saw over like that timeline that I was showing you guys from 2057 that I experienced before here, like when Anubis was saying, and it has to do with that Daft Punk Interstellar video when he was saying that you're famous on other levels. I explained to you guys that I saw this girl and she looked something really personal of mine and my partners was in that L app. And it was like, from us being in the pleroma, we were thinking about just like having children and stuff like that, but not, like it was like a shared dream that we had. And we were doing something about what our boy and our girl would look like. And we actually like intermingled. If you've ever seen those apps where you can like make yourself look older or put like two different faces in one and see what your kid would look like. We were doing that, but like on a deep level, and it got everything we do there gets put into our body, like in our quantum computer form, like our light and gem body, I guess is what you would call it. Like our spirited like quantum body. I don't know how else to explain it, but there was something about that in it, and they used it on that timeline, like what we thought that our daughter would look like. And he was like working behind the scenes on that ascendance, and he ended up like all of these like satanic actors and stuff in that one. Like he was like I would be in this realm right now. Like he was working behind the scenes there, but he wasn't like in his full self. He was just there as a character. And he ended up like falling in love with her or something. like, but not really knowing her. I don't know what it was. I don't know what's going on yet, but it really fucked him up mentally. And I saw him as a shadow character, and I don't know if he ended up like committing suicide on that timeline, but something really messed up happened. And then I saw him go to his private hell, and then that has something to do with this portal that got created. But it's all like intertwined, and that's what I've been working on because there's a death note, a love letter, and a laundry list. And something was left there to do with that. And these same characters like are on this timeline here in the astral. And yeah, there's something to do with them always trying to keep us like apart or something, like some kind of hex going on. And my boyfriend and my son and his wife and I, we went to, there's a new like escape room here where I live, and we went there one night and we decided to do like the Egyptian theme one. And it had like this video at the very beginning. Like there's clues all the time about this stuff every day that I see and go through like on my normal day-to-day basis. But they had a video like explaining like what was going on with this escape room that we were doing. And they were talking about this spell that's as old as time. And that's why I played that video like earlier about the Ark of the Covenant, because I've seen that this black dust is in the Ark of the Covenant and that it's like this Divic COVID demon that has to do with the third layer skin too. And the Keys of Solomon and all that stuff. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to put the comments on for a little bit and then I'll get back to all this tomorrow. I'm going to try and save my spot. I hear your kitty, you're breaking up a bit. Oh, I'm sorry, hun. Hopefully it came through enough. Describing. Well, thanks, Bear. I'm trying to do this the best I can, hun. I have a lot going, going on here. And like I've mentioned, like, I really do try to help everybody the best that I can, like, understand what I'm saying. But this is not my main focus, like my YouTube channel. And I know it's difficult, like, to get everything, but I do this 24/7 and it's super duper hardcore and it's my whole life. And so yeah, I do the best that I can here. And as far as like making media and stuff to show you guys, I really try the best that I can, like to gather as much as I can, but I can't do everything, And my nervous system and all that, like to do with this astral work, has taken a lot of my artistic ability, like physically, and my whole journey here, like even since I was little, like I've been blocked a lot with my physical and my mental connection, like this body. I've been very limited to do things like just all together. But I am a pretty good artist. I just have to like, I do a lot better with like paint, and I'm very like kind of abstract more than I can't like actually like draw things out. I'm more abstract. a little bit, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, and then wanted to show because the other day I was showing you guys my favorite like books that I've read, like spiritual kind of books. And this one, like with Jesus, you know how I was talking about like where he goes to meet the scenes and they had that mural on the wall and it came to life or whatever. I read this before I had seen that mural again in that sushi restaurant. And I was just thinking about because when they mentioned that in this, I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, that's part of Ascension. Like, I knew it even before I had seen that mural in my actual living Ascension that I'm going through right now. But I thought about that today. And then I wanted to show you guys In Pursuit of Valis. This is the one where he gets hit with that beam from Sirius. Philip K. Dick had like the same experience. And it brought like all this like artwork and stuff that he was seeing too. So if you guys are looking for something to read this winter, this is like a really, really good book. But my boyfriend got this for me. It's a signed copy. And it's signed by the editor, which I thought was, because I thought it was just a signed copy from Philip K. Dick. Oh, it is. It is signed by him. Wow. I didn't know. Look. I thought it was just the editor that signed it. But he did put something in there. That's awesome. And it's 12/2/80 that he signed it. And has his address and everything. Wow, this is crazy. I didn't even see this page. I've never seen this. I've got to go show my boyfriend because I thought it was just the editor. Because the editor right here, Lawrence Sutton, signed it. And it's number like 111 out of 250 copies. So I thought it was just the editor that had signed it. And I was like kind of bummed out that Philip K. Dick hadn't signed it. And he actually did. That's freaking awesome. It says God against Satan. God finds victory. I'm going to have my boyfriend look and see what he thinks this says. I'll tell you guys tomorrow. Foretold and shown. Find victory, foretold and shown. That is freaking awesome. That just made my day. It has his phone number, his address, and it says 32074 12280. But anyway, this artwork on here, I was like zooming into it because so it looks like pastels, you know, like down here. Looks like a bunch of pastel, like, you know, the crayons that you use to work. And then there's the phases of the moon, and then it has like the egg right here. Where's my... There you go. And I have another picture of like the cosmic egg that looks very much like this, and it's like the same colors, so I thought it was really cool. But that is awesome. Well, that just made my night. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end tonight and then try and pick up tomorrow with all that stuff from the Daft Punk video so you guys can see that, because it has a lot of artwork that I've seen from this realm of magic that has to do with Elliot. And I hope I'm not glitching out too much because my voice is not matching up to my camera here. Eyes to see. Can you see me, hun? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, you guys. I'd invite somebody on, but I have so much like technical stuff going on right now. I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. But thank you so much for being here again. And yeah, I'm going to try and really get that Daft Punk stuff together tomorrow, because that's like a major, major part of this. And to do with Elliot and the whole moon portal and all of that, and the keys of Solomon and all of that stuff. Thank you. Have a good night, you guys.